I've hit record.
Okay.
So, like, we can just dive into it unless there's anything that you want to... Anything you want to tell me, buddy?
I got nothing.
You've been embezzling funds from SBS?
Yeah, I actually transferred it all, and I'm actually using it all. No.
I was making a joke with Joe and Jack Savage before we started that because Keon's been missing work, I'm going to withhold half his Onyx funds until he earns it back.
Chesney Train, Choo Choo. I mean, there could be some good play on names.
How about this Cowboy Bob?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Have you seen the pictures of him when he was on like a reality show?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up, and I'm gonna make this the start of the episode, so we're technically live right now. Who tweeted it? It was the guy that I didn't know. That's so crazy. The guy that I'm looking for was the first tweet that came up when I pulled up Twitter. Benjamin Royer. He was the guy that interviewed me for that one article.
Yeah.
I think it was him.
It was him.
What? So you know what I'm talking about? The cowboy thing.
Yeah, it was like 2007 when he was coaching a suit, like one of his first stops, and he was on some reality show.
I have to dig up the details of what this reality show entailed. It had something to do with being a cowboy, and there's screenshots. They're not super high quality because this is around 20 years ago, but Bob was like a cowboy, and he was doing Cowboy U, a University U.
That's what the reality show was called on CMT. It was aired in 2007.
What's like the elevator pitch for the premise of the show?
Country Music Television Network, urban dwellers, ranch experience, cowboy living, target shooting from wagons, chicken wrangling, bull riding, cow pregnancy tests.
So this guy's the fucking man.
He does it all.
This will find its way onto his desk. Someone is going to ask him. I mean, if not first in a team meeting, from like just someone raising their hand, but in the media, someone's going to be like, you got to give us a lowdown on what happened on CMT in 2007.
100%. What's stopping us from making a shirt with that like cowboy look?
I think
putting a jersey on him. I
think Cowboy Bob can kind of become a thing.
Yeah.
Put like a little cowboy hat on the B.
That'd be good.
Yeehaw. Okay, Kyle, how are you, dude? It's been a couple weeks since we've aired last. What have you been up to?
Just staying busy, working, getting ready for the big day as well. So that's right around the corner.
Where's my invite? Asking you live on the show, dude. What the fuck?
It's on its way still.
Wait,
no,
dude, I think I got your address wrong.
Yeah, that classic. Dude, it's honestly so tough. Like, I've had so many people ask me, like, they just see, like, in passing or, like, going out. It's like, I'm sorry. My family, my mom's side, she has 8 sisters and 8 sisters and brothers.
You're cooked.
I am cooked. I was cooked from the start. So,
that right there is going to cost you like 5 old friendships. A bunch of LaSalle guys just are never going to text you again because you have so many relatives. Sorry to hear that, dude.
But yeah, that's coming around the corner. But trying to just keep up with everything UCLA. Lots happened since we last recorded.
A lot has happened, and I want to get ahead of this because I am eager to talk Bob Chesney. I'm eager to talk football. I have done my best to follow UCLA basketball while keeping a safe distance because it's since the Cal loss, I kind of had a personal awakening, and I'm like, this is a detriment to my mental health. There has to be a way for me to focus, especially the sport of basketball, like specifically. You know what I mean? Like football, I think it can gut you, but it's easier on the heart.
Because there's less games, or
no? Because it's
the runs.
The runs, man. A basketball collapse can happen so quickly, and things can turn around so fast that, like, lately, life has not emotionally permitted me to follow UCLA basketball all that closely. So, look, we're going to talk Bruin basketball tonight, but as it normally goes, that's going to have to be something that you take the reins on because I've been following, but not to the point where I can lead a podcast discussion on it. I know general gists of what have happened. I've watched reruns and replays, but I'm certainly rusty because of my Emotional lack of capacity to engage.
Yeah, I mean that's one area you can always lean on me for sure. I will. That team will probably kill me at some point in my lifetime.
That's why. Hey, we should have hit up Ethan. Ethan would have probably come back on. Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe he had a terrible time when he came on the first time. But it's worth the ask.
Ethan, shout out Ethan. He hit me up the other day. He was like, "Yo, I want to say congrats. Send me your registry." Sent me a gift on my registry for my honeymoon. Yeah,
get out of here.
Nah, dude's a stud.
Okay, well now I'm the world's shittiest.
No.
I'm your boss. I gotta take care of my people. Send me your registry.
No, you
but
don't.
actually though, do send me your registry. I mean that. I mean, did I get the idea from Ethan? Yes, but do send me that, please do. Also, speaking, I don't want to lose this thought. Yeah, there it is. Thought. Speaking of roller coasters and up and down emotions, before we dive into UCLA, Cowboy Bob, the press conference, did you watch my Bolts last night in prime time? We're recording on Tuesday, by the way. The previous night was Monday Night Football, and the Chargers took down the Eagles. Did you watch?
I was at the gym for the first half, and then I caught pretty much like 4 minutes of the third on. So, yeah, I caught the roller coaster for sure. So many turnovers.
Dude, that might be the most from the depths win of my time watching football.
Yeah, that last play was epic.
Well, it was epic, but it wouldn't have been as epic if the previous two plays weren't a 3rd and 16 conversion. And then the neutral zone infraction on the 4th down that would have decided the game. I was telling Joe, who I was watching it with, when they jumped off sides on that play, I felt on the couch like I weighed 800 pounds. Like the world bared down. And then the next play, we win the game.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I've gone from the bottom to the top that quickly.
Maybe reverse in the Cal game when we went up like 17-2 and then we're down and the next thing you know it.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah.
Also,
that game was really good.
Last thing on the Chargers, can I just say that this whole drama with Justin Herbert and the post-game interview, it's so dumb. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people are bashing into it, but I also saw another video of like a kid trying to get his autograph, and did you see that one too?
No. Was it the Eagles fan shit?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I saw the head. Why was he being a dick?
I mean, yeah. I don't know if he was like, I don't know what. Maybe something was just up with him last night. Maybe post game, but
okay, I can't.
It's coming out of proportion for sure. Don't get me wrong.
The interview, because look, he gave the interview and he gave her good answers. And she caught him after he played with a broken hand, got sacked I think 8 times, is bleeding from the arm, and she catches him at a moment where he's about to embrace his guys. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, I'm about to celebrate with my teammates. And then she, in her defense, professionally persisted. He gave in. He did the interview. And he gave her full-length answers. And people are just trying to they're going crazy over it.
You think the second answer was full-length?
Oh, the yes, thank you, or I feel good, thank you?
Asked about the hand. He was like, I feel good, thank you. But I was like, what?
Well, okay, yeah, but that was his answer. And then the next question, he gave her like a 30-second response.
Yeah, he did.
So, I don't know. Yeah. I think also, by the way, people are forgetting Justin Herbert's kind of a weird guy. And I think he can maybe, give off the wrong impression, but I think he might just be a bit awkward.
Talk about awkward.
What?
Fernando Mendoza interview?
I love him. He's hilarious. Fun fact about Fernando Mendoza, I went into an investment bank today for work, just chopping it up with the bullpen with the analysts, like the junior bankers, and he came up, and one of the first-year analysts was like, dude, Fernando Mendoza is like a meme in the finance world. His quotes and the fact that he interned at some high-end firm and has a LinkedIn, he's kind of the spirit animal of junior bankers that don't sleep and work 90-hour work weeks.
Everyone's just rooting for the guy.
Yeah, it's such a funny random mascot, the nerdy quarterback for Indiana.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but anyways, to bring this back to our world and to what pays our bills, talk about winning the press conference.
Yeah.
My goodness. Did you get
Really
the chance to watch the whole thing, or how much of it did you catch?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing from the start to the end, and all the Jarman and Julio Frank in between, all their remarks. But you're right. I mean, God, night and day compared to compared to Foster.
I made like a mental note. I'm not going to bring up Foster, but you have to bring up Foster.
I mean, you have to.
It was less than 2 years ago, and literally what night and day, man. You went from no words at all to like maybe the best speech I've ever seen delivered in recent memory for me. And look, I'll preface this by saying, like, I'm aware a press conference does not win you any games, and that ultimately this media intro has no real bearing on whether or not UCLA has a good first season under Bob Chesney or not. But I remember those defending Foster, that debacle less than 2 years ago. You heard it over and over again. He's a football coach. He's paid to win games, not to give speeches or to talk to the media. But honestly, man, after the Foster experiment and even the Kelly experiment, I think as a Bruin fan especially, you'd be quite like remiss to like make the claim that being a good football coach that wins games and also being a effective communicator and a good vocal leader are like mutually exclusive things.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you consider like clearly part of the job description of being a head coach in 2025 is, it entails winning people over and like bringing alums and donors together and resonating with students and blah, blah, blah.
I would go as far as saying that like being a football coach specifically with, how many players you have on that roster, which is, no other sport has that many players.
Yeah.
No other sport has that many coaches. No other sport has that many just different departmental figures that you have to deal with day in and day out.
Yeah.
Like I would argue that a football coach, their number one quality is public speaking and being a communicator, addressing.
It's literally
addressing a room. Yeah.
It's 1.A of the prerequisites is you can address groups of people larger than 20.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think about it, when you're speaking to a football team and all the coaches are around and all of the players are around and all the equipment staff and everyone, I mean, you're probably speaking to 120 people plus every single day when all those people are brought together.
Yeah. And back to what I kind of had closed with on my previous point, in that like in the job description now more than ever, it's about winning over donors and getting money. I mean, if he's like that in meetings with donors as he was in the press conference, then like I think the NIL situation is going to look a whole lot different because I was sold on him. And I just said like the press conference doesn't actually mean anything, but like I'm convinced that this guy's going to be a good coach after that, just from his confidence, his clear sense of direction, his goals. There wasn't one he almost started his answers before the questions were finished. He was so prepared and polished.
Well, no, one thing that I noticed during his just initial remarks was I don't think he memorized that shit, and he even referenced how many national championships we had.
He brought up the water polo.
Yeah. He referenced a lot of things that, as someone from outside of UCLA, you just don't walk into and just know off the top of your head. So he prepared. I mean, amongst all the other shit that's going on right now with him,
dude. I noticed that he didn't look down. And I have no problem knocking Martin Jarman, but this isn't just to knock Martin Jarman. But if you watched Martin give his opening words, he was looking down. Frank, when he gave his opening remarks, he was looking down. Like I would too. Like if I'm going to give a speech that's like it's being nationally publicized, I want to like have my words in front of me. He didn't look down once. He just I think knew what he wanted to say and off the dome knows, oh, okay, I can communicate that no problem. Yeah. And that's a great trait to have in your lead man. And a bit nutty.
Nutty. I mean, I would definitely need some type of at least note card, right? And some type of just if I got a little off track, right? Bring me back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell he had prepared for that and was ready for that. And I mean, it was a great first impression.
It felt to me like you were listening to a guy that like is online and like reads the boards and is on like UCLA Twitter. And like obviously he's not, or like at least I hope he's not. But just like the points he was covering and what he was talking about, it was like exactly what a diehard UCLA football fan like has been like dying to hear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest of those and like the most important, and he said it like to start, he was like, the word that's been spun over and over again throughout this process is alignment. And I feel like the biggest kind of theme of his opening statement was institutional alignment between UCLA football and the university. And it wasn't just Chesney that was talking about that. I mean, Julio Frank mentioned it in his opening remarks. And dude, just the fact that Julio Frank, the chancellor, is opening up this event, I think is kind of a testament to this exact point. Like, you know, who never did that was Gene Block.
Right.
Like that was never that would have never happened. His line. No.
Yeah.
And then Bob Myers. I highly recommend listening to his kind of media session after the event concluded. Did you get a chance to? It's like
I caught pieces of Bruin Report's like videos they posted.
Yeah, it was like a 15-minute kind of dialogue between him and a few reporters. I've got a few quotes that I just kind of want to read because I think it's like this whole institutional change thing. I think was like I was a bit hesitant. I mean, I still kind of am because this is all just like words. We haven't seen any action and it's only been a couple of days.
Right.
But I've been a bit hesitant to like really truly get excited about the Chesney hire, despite the fact that I think he is absolutely the best candidate that UCLA could have gotten. But I'm like, well, what does that even mean if we can't seriously support NIL as a university and we can't support it from the chancellor down? I'm like, that it ultimately means nothing if you're not going to support the guy and treat football as important as you do academics.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of meat riding the whole institutional alignment thing, but just some quotes that I've got from Bob that I thought really resonated.
Yeah, he talked about that. I saw.
Yeah, he goes, it starts with Julio having a chancellor who believes in sports. And I think we were always a bit apologetic about our sports, referring to his time at UCLA. We hesitated to celebrate the power of athletics, and that doesn't diminish the power of education. They can both be as they can both be as prominent as one another. And then later he kind of was talking about just the power of the NFL, college football, and like football altogether as a sport. He goes, kids, they go to school based off of the football team, and you can argue whether that's right or wrong, but that is a fact. And then to kind of close, he was asked he mentioned that Chesney asked him, what kind of resources am I going to have made available on behalf of the school? Obviously talking about NIL. And Bob goes on the record and says, you'll be in the top third to compete and maybe the top quartile of the Big Ten, which is big boy language.
To go on record and say that is, dude, you gotta be able to back that up.
Even the top third, that would include, I mean, how many teams are there? 18?
18.
Okay,
18.
So
who are the top six?
Who are the top six? You've got Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, USC. Missing a big one, aren't I?
Nebraska.
So I think, is it that sixth spot? You got Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Wisconsin, kind of just that B tier to fill that kind of last spot of that top third.
I mean, if you're in that top third, you're in striking distance of a Big Ten championship.
You can compete if you're in that top third.
100%.
And you've got the right coach. And obviously the talent comes with that top third because we're talking money to pay for good players. Julio Frank, just kind of on this same topic, he goes, university leadership and athletics are now aligned and committed to doing what it takes to build a winning program. Again, having the chancellor go on the record and say something like that publicly at a football press conference, I think is UCLA sending a message that this might be a new leaf and just kind of a new leadership, man. I never heard Block. I never saw him in athletics like crossover in any sense.
No,
not
at all.
Never.
And I mean, to go on the record and say these things, from Frank. I mean, in a broadcast that's being on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people seeing this. There's every media outlet is there. I wouldn't go out and say that if those were just, that's not fake news. You're just going out and putting out.
Exactly, because if that's a complete lie, and
they lied to Chesney too,
and the school shows no support for NIL or for football or makes an effort to market the program, then Frank looks like a liar. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
If it were anything but him telling the truth, he probably would have just declined to be at the event. He will just show face and not talk. He didn't have to talk. It could have just been the athletic director and then Bob Chesney.
Yeah. No, I listening to, I mean, our last two head coaches, right? Foster and Chip Kelly. I felt like I was listening to a younger version of Jim Mora in a way, of someone that could step in a room. And when Jim Mora spoke, you heard his press conferences. I mean, I even saw him talk to he was at a Colorado State basketball game recently and addressing the crowd, and that's the type of communicator and guy that you sort of want leading the program, that has that commanding voice when he steps into a room and people are going to want to listen. Like, that's what I saw in Chesney today. It felt like leadership.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just grade A leadership. And I think that's obviously what stood out to the committee the entire time, because there were also other options. There were plenty of other options.
Yeah. And dude, just leadership is what coaching football is in a nutshell. Yet I feel like that is the main trait that's been missing the last 10 years. Chip Kelly was not a leader. He was not. He never has been in his career. Everyone that has played under him ends up talking poorly of him down the road. Fans hate him. He leaves programs in flames, franchises, NFL franchises, doesn't recruit. And then I hate to kick an alumni when he's down, but Foster was so clearly not a leader of men, at least in that scale. So, yeah, dude, I think, UCLA fans should be stoked that they just have a fucking leader leading the football program. What a concept. Speaking of that, you kind of almost have to ask yourself, would this have happened without kind of that humiliation ritual that we self-inflicted upon ourselves with the Kelly, with the way the last couple of years under Kelly went, and how the Foster hiring, the speech, the 5-win season, then the 0-4 start, a loss to New Mexico. You almost kind of got to ask, like, did that need to happen to finally force UCLA to get serious? Because it kind of feels like this, and to UCLA's credit, it's a perfect 180 in response to that. But I almost don't feel like UCLA would have taken this coaching hire so seriously if we hadn't made a literal national embarrassment of the brand, which they did.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad. I mean, I remember there was that loss in New Mexico, I think was probably the low point of the season for me. I think we lost by 35 at home, something of that nature.
Dude, that's one of the low points of the program's history.
Yeah, it was bad. So, I mean, ask me in 3 years, I guess. Ask me in a few years, or ask me after year one, because this thing's not also guaranteed to pan out.
Of course not.
As excited as we are today.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that Bob pointed out during his interview, which I thought was pretty interesting, was people asked him, the components that he's learned throughout his coaching career. Obviously, he's been a head coach for 16 years, and he's had many different stops at many different levels. What are some of the things that you've, taken? I mean, everything has been a jump. It's been the next step.
Yeah.
And he's mentioned something about there's a lot of non-negotiables and things that traits of his teams at every single stop, but every single stop is different. He mentioned that, when he was at D2, he started to treat it like a D1 program where they would do sports science and things like that. And at James Madison, they started to treat it more like an NFL program. And, it's going to be a lot of the same from James Madison in the characteristics of how his team will act and things like that. But there's also, he understands, going to be some nuances to, jumping up to a Big Ten program, Power 4 program. I think that's something that I think in a coach that's coming into a Power 4 job, a much bigger job than they were, currently at, you do have to sort of step back and realize and say, hey, I don't know all the answers just yet.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, definitely showed a lot of self-awareness, which, I mean, you're right. He's making a big jump, and no, we can't jump the gun as fans and take a victory trot. Of course not. I mean, we were reacting almost the same way with the Kelly hire, and you and I and Keon have said multiple times, 1,000 times on the show, that I still don't blame UCLA for making that hire back in 2018. No. You beat out Florida. That's why, like, I never really look back on that hire and thinking, what were we thinking? They've done plenty of things since that I do think, what were we thinking? So my victory lap right now is just UCLA athletics did the right thing, which I know the bar is on the ground right now because they just have not been doing the right thing for so long. But, like, even if this doesn't work out and he flames out, I don't think he will. But if he does not work out, I'm not going to look back on this hire, nor do I think anybody really will, and be like, fucking UCLA, man. Like they did it again. Like, no, this was
no.
They showed creativity. They went off the grid a little bit, and to their credit, I mean, a burning question, right? Like, I know for a fact that when that committee was together in the same room, this individual was not the one leading these conversations. But you kind of got to ask the question, how much credit does Martin Jarman deserve after this? Because I will say this, he looks a lot better now, or at least he probably feels a lot less pressure now than he did, call it 2 months ago in October when the banners were overhead and the Red Baron was circling the Rose Bowl.
I mean, I think they did the right thing by firing Foster when they did. If that thing carried on any further, I'd give it to Jarman. If that had to be done at that point in time. If that carried any further, you just delay your coaching search. You just continue to do the things.
But that's almost like, oh my God, I lit the house on fire and I put it out so quickly, dude. You got to give me credit for that. You set the house on fire intentionally almost.
You did set the house on fire 100%, but I don't know how worse the house could have got.
Yeah, we only lost the kitchen.
Yeah, let's phrase it that way. No, we lost more than just the kitchen. We lost the kitchen.
Yeah, dude.
We lost the kitchen, a couple bedrooms, kids stuff.
Like, we're building outward from the guest bedroom right now.
Exactly. So the whole house didn't go down in flames. We're still standing today. I think it obviously gave them a lot of time. I mean, they had over 10 weeks to meet as a committee, debate internally about. I mean, I don't know how many rounds of interviews they probably went through. There was probably tons of conversations
that was reported, and I want to say it started with like 40.
Was that the Ben Bolch article that just came out?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I mean, you don't get that sort of same, I guess, timeline if you hold on to Foster for 3 more weeks or 4 more weeks, and you go through sort of that crappy schedule, or you beat Penn State, and you're like, oh, I mean, think about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if we would have next week beat Penn State and then went on a 3-game win streak? That could have fucked us.
That would have been a 2-year extension of Deshaun Foster, hands down. And that's another place where Julio Frank gets credit, because we're definitely not firing the head coach of football without chancellor approval.
Right.
And that would have been, I could see something that Block would have blocked. But it's,
Penn State.
Or no, just even after New Mexico. Oh, it's only 4 games in his second season. We got to ride this out with our guy. No, Franks gave him the green light saying, axe the guy. Save the program. Save the guest bedroom, at least. I want to talk a few more topics of kind of those points that Chesney was covering. I know we talked the whole institutional alignment aspect. Another one that I really liked was kind of just the sort of, I guess, cultural change that he knows is needed. Like, I feel like a lot of people's gripes over the last 10 years has been that UCLA football under Kelly, and equally as much under Foster, had become sort of this, like, almost like walled off operation run by like guys that just resented the media. They hated like those obligations and that side of the job completely. They were burning bridges, minimal campus outreach to students. It's no selling, no selling of the program by the top guy. And that was something that Chesney was actually asked about directly. This one dude that asked him was wearing like a sideways hat and like a hoodie. It was in like glasses. It was so funny. But to his credit, he asked this question, which I'm really happy he did. And I love the way that Chesney phrased his answer. And he said that UCLA has to become a yes program. And the quote is, let me see. Wherever I have to go and speak, whoever I need to go and meet, we will be a yes program. And then kind of later on, he like switched to more of a recruiting note, but still kind of the same thing. He goes, we have to make sure we have deep ties to the West Coast. I need to make sure with high school coaches that we're as accessible as possible and have open, free clinics, open practices. We have to do a good job of opening those too. So, I mean, another thing that like you're not going to say that on the record publicly and not mean that, you know?
100%.
So that's already such a different note from what we've seen and what we've gotten accustomed to with UCLA, with just kind of being this like weird closeted thing where there's tense media sessions after practice.
You go back to the Costa Mesa thing that earlier this year, right? During camp.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
That was this year.
That feels like 3 years ago.
We've lived 3 lives since then.
That is insane. But I really appreciated that. Again, dude, I know we're talking a press conference, and for all I know, he could go back on his word, and maybe he says, "Oh, circumstances changed. We're not opening up the practices." Yeah. But he's saying the right shit, and it's making me happy. I can be happy about that. Okay.
No, but he talked about, I think one thing that, you know, sort of piggybacking off of that, talked about community, you know, and I think that's one thing, you know, when I think about UCLA and how large the alumni base is and how many students go to UCLA. And we've talked about this before, students that come from overseas and don't really know much about, you know, the UCLA ties. And like, when you think of UCLA as a community, I would say we are probably lower end of the Big Ten in just terms of community, unitedness as an alumni base and fan base. And, you know, people come from all over the world to go to UCLA and then leave or, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people still obviously here in LA, but you think about a school like, I don't know, Wisconsin, right? Nebraska, Iowa, right? Those are thick, and that's community. And I think he did a good job of sort of talking about how he's going to get into the community, not only on campus, but off campus as well here in the LA, you know, area. Which I, you know, wouldn't even really expect one of our head coaches to go out and do. I mean, we don't see Cronin doing that, right? Like, we don't see a lot of coaches doing that. So that was interesting.
I think the way he put it when talking about kind of the community and the on-campus student community and its relationship to football, he said, this isn't just our program, kind of gesturing at like himself. He goes, it's your program. Like this is like the students' football program. And like that really resonated with me because like when you go call it a game at Lubbock, Texas Tech, for example, and you see their home stadium, you feel like this, it's like this is the students' show. I know we don't have the on-campus aspect. That's out of our control. But the weird thing about UCLA football, and obviously a lot of it probably stems from that stadium situation, but you just feel like there is a total divide between the football program and campus life and its relationships to students. But like the last time we had a football coach that sold the program directly to students and resonated with them and made it fun and exciting just from the way he carried himself and sold the program was 10 years ago in Remora. And I remember that the Den was like 10, 15,000 people a game. And it felt like despite football playing its games a long ways away, it was still a part of student life. And it was a student's program and it was a fun draw.
And I think part of campus life, you know, you think about, I mean, we were both students. Obviously there's tons to do in the area. There's tons to do in Westwood on the west side. I mean, you're competing with all these other fun things that there are to do. And what's fun about going to a game, you know? There's tons of different things, obviously, from the tailgate to the bus to get there, hanging out with your friends, being with people. But honestly, fun comes from playing in those big games, anticipation, and knowing that you're even gonna have a chance. So it just goes back to winning, right? The product.
Do you know how Mick Cronin spells fun?
W-I-N.
W-I-N.
Exactly.
Speaking of winning, question for you: what does success look like in Bob Chesney's first season in Westwood? What do you want to see realistically? Or unrealistically.
I think obviously everyone wants to see the Cignetti miracle. That would be a dream far-fetched, but I think it goes to, we'll see who stays, who goes. I know there's already been some departures from the current roster. We'll see, if there's any James Madison, of those studs that want to come this way, and how much of that, upper echelon of the Big Ten NIL funding that Bob Myers is talking about is going to happen right away. I'm looking at the schedule next year, at Cal, San Diego State, Nevada.
It's not that hard, man. Keep going. Yeah. Go into the conference and specify what's at home and what's away.
At Maryland, at Michigan, at Minnesota, at Oregon, home versus Illinois, home versus Michigan State, home versus Purdue, home versus SC, home versus Wisconsin. So
that is not that hard of a schedule.
I'm seeing Michigan and Oregon as
the obvious
two obvious losses. Outside of that,
yeah. There's some toss-ups that I wouldn't weight in the direction of UCLA, sure.
Oh, 100%.
But there's really only two,
for sure losses.
Etch the losses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you look at that schedule, there's two for sure losses, and then there's, a couple other games, like you said, that are toss-ups. But I would love to go to a bowl game next year.
I think that's
very realistic.
That's kind of, I think, a consensus is it's not even really a hope. I kind of expect us to make a bowl game looking at that schedule and then knowing that this is 2026 and that we don't need you to you don't really get 3 years to build your program when we've got the transfer portal, and you're coming from a sitting position as a head coach where we saw what happened with Cignetti at this same program where he transplanted all of those guys in his program in one, I think, 11 games, 12 games. I am not expecting that to happen, but hey, Marley. I'm not expecting that to happen, but I think we should be playing in a bowl game next year. And I'll be pretty disappointed if we don't, even if this press conference was shit. I'm not even being like kind of like a,
Yeah, just based off of the schedule and based off of
the nature of the sport today, assuming you hired the right guy, UCLA should be winning at least 6 games next year.
I agree with that. I think 8-4 is like, holy shit, we're on the fast track.
I think 9 wins, 10 wins is holy shit wrong. 8 wins would be sick, but like what? So that means 4 losses. So you lose the 2 obvious ones, and then you drop 2 games to probably.
I take that back. I say 8 wins is not we're on the fast track. 8 wins is we're on the right track.
Yeah, we're on the right track. 9, 10 wins. I'm like this. Let's see how this transfer portal offseason goes now.
Yeah, because then you have the momentum from a big season. We're probably within the top 15. Just outside the. I mean, that's even crazy to even say. Like just thinking about that.
Yeah.
If you win 9 games, 10 games, you're sitting inside the top 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the schedule allows for it. I mean,
it does suck that he's going to have virtually no high school recruiting class to work with. I think UCLA came in at 98th with 16 commits for the 2026 class. That was never going to be anything better than what it was, given just the timing and the circumstances surrounding the program. But that does suck. He's going to have no incoming talent in that sense. And then another challenge is, of course, he's playing in the college football playoff, and that's going to delay his time to come on campus and start. I mean, you'd have to think that he's right now kind of part-timing the working of the transfer portal. He knows that that's not something he can just completely abandon. I know he obviously wants to play for a national championship. He wants to beat Oregon, but you'd have to think he's kind of doing double duty right now and speaking with whoever he expects his staff to be in picking up the phone, talking to transfer portal targets, and so on. Because let's say he loses to Oregon is it the 20th? I think it's the 20th.
Something like that.
He's going to have about almost exactly 2 weeks to prep for the transfer portal versus what would have been like 3.5, close to a month had they not made the playoff.
Well, and he acknowledged that a lot of these deals are done before that portal even opens.
Yeah.
So he's for sure well aware that, I think he mentioned it a couple of times, there's going to be some sleepless nights while, he's preparing. I just, I hope, part of me is like, hey, I'd love for them to do well. I mean, if they go, it's a tall task, but if they go and beat Oregon, like, fuck, hats off to this dude. He's just, like, you go up there and you beat Dan Lanning.
Yeah, then it's almost like, look, if this means that we have
the guy.
It's like, okay, fine. I'll take a stripped roster of a bunch of Jags next year. If it means we've got a guy that literally is going to beat Dan Lanning in the playoffs in Eugene, fine. Scratch the whole season at that point. Just like, hey, you guys just go out there and have some fun, and we'll see you next offseason when we're going to put together the number one roster in the country.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, part of me is like, all right, lose, come back, do your thing. But part of me is like, hey, you go up there and you win. That's some impressive shit. So,
can we talk about the guy's look? He's what I want the coach to look like. Can I just say that?
He's a good-looking guy.
I mean, I wasn't just talking. Yes, he is good-looking, but I'm not even just talking. He's got the hair. We
thought Tino Sinceri had good hair.
Wow, in that case, I'm gonna send him an anonymous message being like, "I need you to." It's gonna have a pair of scissors. Hey, cut that shit off.
Cut that.
Yeah, wow, that's a name that I had genuinely blocked out of my memory.
What do you think he's up to?
I don't know, but that UCLA thing really. I hope the best for the guy. He's a family man. He tried, but I don't know where he goes from here. That was such just a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tino. I was really excited when we got Tino.
We were all so excited. I mean, it just goes to show, you never know until you put the pads on, I guess.
It's funny. Think about the influence that Curt Cignetti has had, because the reason we were excited about Tino Sinceri was that he was a product of Curt Cignetti, and a big reason why we're kind of like stoked on Chesney. He's like, is this the second Cignetti? He's coming from JMU. Like, Cignetti he's what is it called when you're everywhere? He is.
It's like a sensei.
No, he's like ever present. He is. I forget, but fuck off, Cignetti. Get out of my head. Speaking of JMU, have you had the chance to look at any of their players or any of their prospects at all? I wouldn't blame if you hadn't, but
I did. I watched their Sun Belt Championship game off and on the other night, and I know they had that sick edge rusher.
Yeah,
I've seen some clips of him online. I mean, he's got to be, considering we had 0 sacks ever last season.
Yep,
I think he's the number one. Get. And then I know there's that back, and then I don't know. Outside of that, I wouldn't know many players.
If we get nobody but Sahir West, that edge rusher from JMU, I'm okay with that, because UCLA's edge rushing talent the last 2 seasons has been the most unforgivable aspect to the entire collapse that was the Deshaun Foster era. Yeah. I mean, at least to Kelly's credit, we had a year with Leatu Latu and the Murphys. Who was that one guy that transferred out? Who was that? He was pretty good. He had kind of an African name, I think. Fuck.
Last year?
Hold on. 2020. His name was, what the fuck? All right, maybe it was 2021. Bear with me. Don't yell at me. Okay. I know he was in the 40s. Linebacker.
You know his number?
You're not gonna. I don't know if you remember this. Mitchell Agude. Remember that name?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
no.
He was a really good edge rusher for us, and he transferred out, and that loss sucked. But anyways, let me look that up.
Shit, we're gonna go to another.
Mitch Agude. Is
he with the Lions?
No. So he transferred to Miami. Oh, he clearly didn't work out. Well, no, he's
with the Lions.
No, in 2024 he's on a team right now.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Now, he was waived by the Lions on August 26th, 2025. I wonder if any of the listeners remember him. He was really good.
I wonder if he's listening.
The Wikipedia. Oh my God! You think? Let's see. He was able to improve his grades and ultimately committed to play for the UCLA Bruins. In his first year at UCLA, Agude appeared in 7 games, 5 as a starter, recorded a team-leading 9 tackles for loss. The following season, he played in 12 games, started 10, named all Pac-12 conference selection with 54 tackles, 39 quarterback pressures. Dude, I'm telling you, this guy was fucking legit, and you just kind of forgot. I guess when you transferred to Miami, get lost, but he was really good. Back to my original point. If there's anybody from JMU that we get, it's got to be this guy. this edge rusher, because I think the I'm not going to name the edge rushers that we've had the last 2 years. I don't like shitting on current players, even though I have many times. You couldn't name them? Devin Apu and Jacob Busick.
I mean, they weren't really on the scorer sheet or the announcers.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly my point. I think the complete lack of ability to get to the quarterback. We're the worst quarterback pressuring team in college football at this very moment, or we were. Our season's over now. I think that directly lost us like at least 2 games per season during this era. So yeah, let's go get that guy. And then
I'm sure there'll be some tough competition too for him.
That's the thing, dude. Is that like, look, UCLA kind of has like a 2-sided coin coming up with this Oregon game. Like, you're going to get a chance to look at these JMU guys and figure out like which of these guys is worth really pursuing and paying NIL for, or who's just kind of a depth guy that you could also go after. But like, who are the players on JMU that look as explosive and fast as the Oregon guys, who can play at the Big Ten level, who physically matches up with the Oregon guys? Like, you're really going to get.
Who's Oregon going to want?
Yeah, you're going to get a chance to kind of vet the JMU roster like that. But on the flip side, yeah, they're going to be playing in the college football playoff. And, Kirby Smart is going to be well aware of the guys that play well in that game. And Dan Lanning himself is going to see who he's up against and know that these guys are going to be in the transfer portal should they shine in that game. So, yeah, a bit of a double-edged sword there. But
interesting hire for JMU as well. We didn't talk about that, but
yeah,
Billy Napier.
If I'm them, I'm almost kind of just like, because like they had found such diamonds in the rough with Cignetti, and like it was that athletic director who has since stepped down. He made those 2 hires, and he's no longer their guy. And this new guy goes out and gets what's kind of a retread in Napier. I mean,
you're getting a bounce back basically.
Yeah, he's a big name for the program. Like he'll probably do pretty well there, I think. But it's not. I don't think he's going to be as explosive as the previous 2 guys, because I think the biggest thing was like, fuck Chesney, give me their athletic director. This guy makes it happen, man.
on the athletic director coaching carousel.
Yeah, Jesus, I can't. No more carousels for me. Get me off this ride. We finished.
Hopefully, we don't have one in basketball anytime soon.
God, is that your transition into basketball? What are your thoughts? Tell me what's the latest. We swept the Pacific schools, which we really, really needed to do.
Big time.
We haven't spoken since the Cal loss.
No, I mean I will say I think for me, I think at this point we're 9 games in the season. Either this is Donovan Dent's the largest slump of his life, or he really just dominated the Mountain West Conference. I mean, at this point, you can tell he gets to the hoop. He has no problem getting to the hoop, but you can tell he's a little undersized when he gets there. A lot of blocks, a lot of, I feel like maybe bounce passes and, jumping over the baseline, throwing it back across his body that maybe flew at a lower level. That's not flying today. We saw a lot of it in the Arizona game. But on the flip side,
a lot of it.
But flip side, that Cal loss, they shot out of their mind. It was ridiculous. I looked the other night, and Cal shot like 25% from 3. They shot like 60% in that game. We also didn't have Bilodeau, which I think no one should ever doubt Bilodeau anymore. I mean, that dude.
Evidently, that was a big loss to the offense.
A huge loss. I mean, he's just our bucket getter. Eric Daly goes in and out, but Bilodeau, I feel like, is one of the guys you can sort of count on a little bit more often to go and get you a bucket, which we were desperately missing in that Cal game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you look at it and it's like, we lost to Arizona by 4. We were up by 8 in that game at one point late in the second half. And I get it, it's at McHale, but Auburn just got blown out by like 35.
That wasn't okay, you're talking about the Auburn game. I was like, that wasn't at McHale. I was there. But so Auburn, no. Go on.
I mean, you just, I mean, and basketball is one of those sports. It's sort of tough to take a look at comparisons, and we played this team, they also played that team.
Yeah.
But that makes me feel good, sort of, about how we can compete with the upper echelon, and I don't think a Mick Cronin team will ever really allow itself to get blown out.
Yeah.
Because of just the way that the possessions are run and the game is run and the actual game flow. Especially against those teams that will outrun us, he can really slow it down. So I'm still optimistic. If Donovan Dent can really turn this around, I think we'll be in the upper part of the Big Ten. I mean, we should have no problem being in the top 6 of the Big Ten. If Donovan Dent can turn it around, I don't think we're better than Michigan State, Illinois, or Michigan. I mean, Michigan is a fucking juggernaut right now. They're beating everyone by 25.
That really hurts to watch for a very specific and tall reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he's going double night in, night out.
Dude, I mean, that's like double damning for Mick, bro. Because,
yeah.
A, he let him walk, and B, he's playing way better than he did at UCLA.
Way better.
Fuck. Where was that? It took us to, past mid-season to see that kind of production come out of Mara with that coming out party against Wisconsin.
I mean, if I'm being honest, you take a look at the numbers right now. He is averaging 22 minutes a game. He averaged 13 minutes a game last year at UCLA, and he only started one game, played in 33. He started in 7 of 8 games so far. So he's almost playing double the minute count. He's averaging 9.4 a game. 9 rebounds a game, so almost a double a game. Last year he only averaged 6.4 and 4.0. So if you just double those numbers last year, his minute count, I mean, we could have probably done the same exact shit.
And it's not like this guy was some hidden talent. He was a massive recruit, and it was a big thing in getting him here.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more confusing as to the lack of utilization. I mean, hey, Mick said in a press conference 2 weeks ago, I don't have a doghouse. Okay, well, you've got some things to explain if that's the case.
Yeah. And I mean, you even got William Kyle doing pretty well at Syracuse. I mean, he's averaging. That
hurts even more for some reason.
William Kyle is averaging 9.9 points a game and 8 rebounds. He's almost averaging a double right now in 28 minutes per game.
Not good. That's not good.
It's crazy. So
and then you combine that with Dent coming in and doing the opposite. I know that's two big men compared to a point guard who's the opposite of a big man, but
that's what we need right now. I mean, and Kyle's done that against four ass cheek states, and then Tennessee, Iowa State, Kansas, and Houston.
That was left ass cheek state. Come on,
left ass cheek state. That's right. I knew I was missing something there. But yeah, sucks to see those guys doing well. I mean, happy for them, but
no, I hope they fucking I hope they stub their toe right now.
Would rather have them do it in a blue uniform.
Yeah. Speaking of blue uniforms, another big test Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Horrible.
Why? That is like UCLA versus Oregon State 2019 in football type stuff. We're talking
Gonzaga's always got late starts. Like if you look at Gonzaga's schedule,
but this is an out of conference ranked matchup with two of the top programs in history. I mean, I'm not going to put that much respect on Gonzaga's name, but they're a modern blue blood, as much of a modern blue blood as you can be without a national championship to your name.
I mean, this game last year was probably at 3 p.m. Pacific, somewhere around there. I'd say 5 maybe.
Yeah, it was daytime when we got into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that should be a good game. I'm sure that, Gonzaga's looked really good other than that Michigan game that they played and just got absolutely dog walked. It's going to suck to see Graham Ike still there because that dude is a menace. But Zags fans will show up. It's not in Spokane, unfortunately.
Is it at the
Climate Pledge?
What on earth is that?
It's where...
That's Oregon.
That's Portland.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's where the NHL team, the Kraken, Seattle Kraken play.
I just found out there's a hockey team named the Mammoth.
The Mammoth, yeah.
Speaking of which, hold on. Let me check see how my Ducks are doing. They're rolling. They're first in the Pacific. Anaheim Ducks.
You're a Ducks fan?
Hey, they won again. Dude, they're running away. I mean, there's like 80 games left, but they're a clear first. The Golden Knights are kind of hanging around 2 points back. But then there's the Kings. So Ducks have 39. Knights got 37. Kings at 35. Then drops to 31.
Yeah.
I mean, no one. Oh, fuck. The Avalanche.
The Oilers always come up late.
Avalanche are 21-2. That division's crazy. 21-2. The Avalanche. The Stars are 21-5. Wild 16-9. I mean, just really good teams.
The NHL always confuses me because they go based off conference for playoffs, and it's just 1 through 8. But then they also have divisions.
How steep is our listener drop off going to be during
talking about NHL?
During the shift to hockey?
I actually, on the broadcast of the other night for the UCLA game, they were talking about Tyler Bilodeau's passion for the NHL, and they were talking about how they're like, I'm not sure many guys in that locker room are also getting into it with him about NHL.
What do you mean by that?
That's what I thought. I was like,
what?
Jeez.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? You think Donovan Dent's watching hockey? Oh, speaking of Tyler Bilodeau, did you see the meme about the woman who was helping him when he had an injury?
Oh my God. Dude.
I saw
what?
I saw a tweet that was like, this guy's so faking that. He's faking that injury.
I happened to see that live, and
you noticed. You're engaged, brother.
It was like I thought to myself, someone's gonna pick that up. Someone's going to pick that up. And sure enough, next one. I mean, poor girl, but
I mean,
when I saw it, it had like 675,000 views.
Dude, yeah, poor girl. No one's talking shit about her. You know, it's in a way she's getting widespread praise.
And it happened the next night when Tyler Bilodeau went down with an ankle injury. They panned to him, and he was getting worked on by the same girl. She was
in a deep squat.
Yeah, there was another picture, and he said, he did it again, or something like that.
I bring the listening audience up to speed when we discuss some more obscure stuff, but I feel like if you listen long enough, you can kind of
pick up for yourself.
You can pick up what the joke is. And
yeah.
Tyler Bilodeau got assisted by a female trainer. Okay, we're at exactly 1 hour. You want to call it?
I don't know. We could get into our NHL segment we had planned.
Yeah, wait. Don't hit that button. We're about to transition into our NHL getting parlayed.
Oh God, we would do horrible.
Well, anyways, fun times for the first time in a long time to be a UCLA fan. Hopefully, some of you guys that have not been tuning in lately tune back in this week because lots to talk about, lots to be excited about. The Bob Chesney era will begin very, very soon, and you're going to get the best takes on all that right here on the SBS podcast. But thanks again for joining us, and whether it be next week or the week after that, we're looking forward to talking to you next time. But until then, be well and go Bruins.
Go Bruins.